Я хочу здесь нажать. Окей. The end is never the end. Конец никогда.
This is the
Не
story
конец.
of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building
Погодите,
where he was...
настройки, видео. Угол обзора. Расширенные настройки. Детализация эффектов. Господи, в смысле низкая? Она что, реально вылетела? Она вылетела и сбросила настройки? Achievements выключено, в смысле выключено. Получено достижение. Это достижение. Сохранение. А почему нету этих? Субтитров нету, что ли, в игре? Я не могу понять. Только этот момент как бы достаточно мощные будут, да. Почему нету субтитров? Были субтитры, и где они? Ищи лучше. Ебать. Слишком сложно. О, господи. Они в звуке. Субтитры находятся в звуке. Окей. Окей. Погнали.
This
Я
is
не
the
буду.
story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427.
Ты тоже на
Employee
геймпаде
number
надо?
427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day,
Классная
every
работа.
month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Окей, тут, наверное... Тут, наверное, надо будет на клавомыши играть. Субтитры всегда находятся в звуке. Seriously? Прям всегда-всегда? В 100% случаев?
But Stanley simply couldn't handle the pressure. What if he had to make a decision? What if a crucial outcome fell under his responsibility? He had never been trained for that. No. This couldn't go any way except badly. The thing to do now, Stanley thought to himself, is to wait. Nothing will hurt me. Nothing will break me. In here I can be happy forever. I will be happy. Stanley waited. Hours passed, then days. Had years gone by? He no longer had the ability to tell. But the one thing he knew for sure, beyond any doubt, was that if he waited long enough, the answers would come. Eventually, someday, they would arrive. Soon, very soon now, this will end. He will be spoken to. He will be told what to do. Now it's just a little bit closer. Now it's even closer. Here it comes.
Станет стримером. Походу, да. У тебя времена работы в ДНС. Да нет, и что я там делал? Всякие разные вещи, выставлял салфетки.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Тут что-то включено. Эй, оно выключилось. Там была важная информация. Где зал совещаний? Не, блин, я все выключаю. Какого фига? Как подойти и посмотреть? Не знаю. Я типа ногой наступил на эту, что ли? На клавиатуру? Или что, как я нажал? Там что-то ввелось.
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
Какого черта? Ладно, пошли дальше. Ненавижу понедельники. Двери все закрыты.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Влево вошел? Да нифига, я вправо вошел.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Ага. Хитрый рассказчик пытается меня загнать куда-то.
Yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
В первую дверь влево? Давайте будем этим, как его? Бунтарь. Мамкин бунтарь, я пойду прямо.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't 5 years ago.
5 лет назад. А меня уволили как раз. Ни хрена тут склад.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side.
Окей, давай, докажи. Докажи. Ты, коня, клавиш звук, о, да, сексуальный просто.
Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
Ну, раз мы уже бунтари.
Aha, perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door.
Нет.
I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked through the red door.
Нет, я хочу в синюю. Грязный ублюдок. О, синяя.
All right, fine. Go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you. You see? There's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted? Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you? Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did. And in the end, it was all for nothing. Because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees? Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far. Tell you what. Let me take a stab in the dark at a new design, and you can give me some feedback. There we go. A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stanley. Take it for a spin.
Новая дверь.
Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here.
Ну, конечно, как бы то, что 4 двери, это на четверочку, ой, 3 двери на четверочку.
Clearly, there's something here that speaks to you. If I can be honest here, I really don't have any idea where I'm going with this. This whole third door thing was just a stab in the dark. But I guess you're into it, so let's keep this party train going.
Да.
Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take a look.
Worldwide Leaderboard Stanley Parable. Всего 91 тысяча дверей открыто. 194 тысячи попыток открыть дверь. Ты знал, что 21% людей скипнуло интро? Это я. 7 часов, да, уже? Да, конечно, все это дряная врунишинская статистика.
Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors? Again, honest answers, please.
Мотивирует ли доска почета заходить в двери? Не
I nearly
особо.
forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on, and now would be a lovely opportunity to give it some playtesting. You wouldn't mind taking a look at it, would you? Perfect. Let me boot it up.
Какая-то демка игры.
In this game, the baby crawls left towards danger.
Я
You
не
click the
заметил.
button to move him back to the right, and if he reaches the fire, you fail. It's a very meaningful game, all about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life. I think the art world will really take notice. But of course, the message of the game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours. So why don't you give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective? Be sure to keep notes on your experience.
Че, будем 4 часа играть, народ? По-любому есть ачивка 4 часа играть в эту игру. Я 100 баллов даю. Такой звук противный. Сейчас, может, он что-нибудь начнет говорить. Ах, какой противный звук. Не жми, дети, зло. Ах. Нет!
You heartless bastard.
Ну вот.
Did you do it because you hate babies or purely to spite me? Because if it's the latter, well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas. I can't think of a single thing that might improve the experience for me. I'm not even going to try. I'm out. I'm done. It's over. Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable. Oh, hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game? Just to ease the pain. Let's see. What do we have here? Yes, this seems like it'll work. Let's give it a shot.
О, неплохо.
Well, Stanley, is this any better? At last,
Конечно.
the one thing you've always desired. A game I had absolutely nothing to do with. But is it enough? Tell me that, Stanley. Will it ever be enough? Well, I'll say this. I'm done making things for you. From now on, I will only create to fulfill a greater artistic
Дали
purpose.
ачивку, что я не
Watch
могу
this,
прыгать.
Stanley. I'm going to build a house. This will go here. No, here. And then... Let's see,
Красивый
what
дом.
does it need? Yes, of course. And just to finish it all off, yes, it's complete.
Погодите. Ачивку дали, типа этот. Ты не можешь прыгать, потому что на пробел постоянно жму. Я серьезно, мы типа отключили прыжки. Окей.
I made this, Stanley. Look at it. Gaze upon my work of art and feel ashamed at your own inadequacy. Ah, but you've only seen it from the outside. You've only gotten half the experience. Please, step inside and make yourself comfortable. Isn't it grand? Isn't it perfect? It could only be better if... Wait, that's it. We must rebuild it out of diamond. Diamond,
алмаза.
everything. Yes. Come along, Stanley. We have to go mining.
Добывать алмаз в Майнкрафте. Уху. Что может быть лучше?
Oh my, it looks like it's going to get a bit dark. Have you brought a light?
Надо добыть этот. Надо добыть уголь, чтобы сделать из него факел. Дружище, я знаю. Я профессионал в Майнкрафте. Грибы. Из грибов можно зелье варить. Так, нам только вниз можно идти, да?
Oh, no. This is far more open-ended than I had in mind. I'm looking for something more narrow and linear. Something that makes you feel utterly irrelevant. This won't do at all. 1 out of 5. Even the diamonds couldn't save this one. Okay, new game.
Я не дошел до конца, надо было быстрее бежать.
Yes!
Господи,
I
это
don't
же
even know what
Portal.
this game is, but I love it.
The
You
Portal.
trapped in a glass box with no way out, listening to me talk. Oh, it's inspired. I couldn't have done it any better myself. What is this game even supposed to be? I can't figure it out. Okay, now I'm curious. Let's go find out what the hell this is.
Бау! Встать под трубой, чтобы тебя коробкой ударило по голове этим ящичком.
Oh, it's a puzzle. Critical thinking, Stanley. Your forte. Genius.
Все, в портал играем теперь, народ.
No, actually, you know what? I think that's plenty. I really don't care much to see you stumble through any more of these games, and I highly doubt you're any wiser for the experience. Which is why, rather than continue to waste my time, I'm just going to leave you.
О, господи, я свалился. Какое-то техническое. Там дырка была. Это точно не отсылка на портал, точно, да? Какая интересная игра. Сколько же здесь дырок. Что-то темно вообще. Здравствуйте. Как фонарь включить? Тут нет, наверное, фонаря никакого. Свет в конце туннеля. Какого черта? Это же, блин, 427. Это же наша комната вроде, не? Под номером 427. Или у нас 437? Не?
I wonder what he found. If what he wanted was to be the leading man in his own story, well, perhaps he's gotten it. Down in wherever he is right now. I wonder if he's happy with his choice. And if he's learned the heavy cost that comes with it. He'll understand soon what I was trying to tell him. He needs me. Someone who will wrap everything up at the end to make sense out of the chaos and the fear and the confusion. That's who I am. That is what I mean to this world. Oh, yes. Yes, I'll be back. There's no other way. Once this ends, after it all comes to a close, then I'll be back. The end will be here soon. Very soon. I can wait.
О, это все, это была концовка?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Даже ачивку не дали никакую. Это мы прошли игру на одну из концовок.
Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Ну-ка, давайте теперь по его указкам сходим.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
А если на месте постоять? Он скажет, типа, в дверь слева. Слева? А? Не говорит. Ну ладно, пойдемте влево.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Блин, я не успел прочитать, как разрешить конфликты внутри рабочего коллектива.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Хрена, тут какой-то дьявольский, вампирский этот офис у начальника.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, what dark secret was being held from him. What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
2845. Где тут этот? Секретная панель за столом босса. А, вот это.
Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs, trying to, yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Это, господи, это как будто этот Left 4 Dead. Вот эта штука прям во всех этих есть. Я не знаю, играх на Source, на движке Source. Как будто бы.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Станция управления сознанием. Мы сейчас будем управлять собой или типа того чего-нибудь.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Конечно, хватит мужества. За срань вообще.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Окей. 427 у нас, по-моему, или 437. Не помню, какой точно номер.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Наркомания. Ну-ка, поехали наверх.
No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof, the heart of the operation. controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content, walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life, for he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Каким же образом? Надо кинуть валенок куда-нибудь в сервер. Точно. Пойти пролить кофе на сервера. Ну-ка, что это за кнопочка? Привет, Страдивариус. Зашла в от Remains of Edith Finch. Ну так, прикольная игра. Короткая, правда, и не особо понятная, но... Может, по очереди надо нажать, там кнопки есть, смотрите. Там 4 написано. Ну-ка, 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 ну-ка. Сейчас мы тут взломаем эту систему. 3. 1. 1. 2. Три. Четыре. И последняя там 5, наверное. Только если где-то шестерка не запряталась. Нет! Что это за... Мы не смогли взломать эту головоломку с цифрами подряд. Просто невзломибельная головоломка, народ, невозможно. Ну и ладно. Не очень-то и хотелось. Сделан очень толково, да?
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
Awaiting input. Включить и типа вернуться к бесконечной этой срани или выключить.
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes! He had won! He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
Или вернулся и решил отгадать все загадки. А? Никак нельзя никуда вернуться. Мы освободились. Ну да, сколько же еще тайн здесь скрыто.
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Beat the game. Ачивка. Пройдите игру. Начать игру сначала. Продолжить. Опа. 427.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Окей.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had
Надо
simply
теперь в
missed a
другие
memo.
комнатки идти. Окей, куда мы еще не ходили?
When Stanley came to a set of two
Влево,
open
налево мы
doors,
не
this was
пойдем.
not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first,
Ну,
just
блин,
to
мы на
admire it.
склад пошли, и там не особо что-то нам
Wow.
показали.
Yes, this room.
Он нас
But
телепортировал
eager to
обратно
get
в
back to
другие игры.
business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Не.
Stanley was so
squad.
bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look,
Можно
Stanley,
вообще
I think
вниз,
perhaps
наверное,
we've
упасть.
gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance. Now
Окей, мы
listen
тогда
carefully,
пошли
this
в
is
синюю
important.
дверь.
Stanley walked through the red door.
Окей.
Oh, thank God you are willing to listen to me. Do you see that I really have wanted you to be happy all this time? The problem is all these choices. The two of us always trying to get somewhere that isn't here. Running and running and running, just the way you're doing right now. Don't you see that it's killing us, Stanley? I wanted to stop. We would both be so much happier if we just stopped. And I think I have a solution. Here, let me show you.
Let me show you. И какую же дверь нам выбрать? Так, что там? Темнота. И тут темнота. Ха. Выберем эту темноту.
What do we want? What are we looking for? Here. Yes. Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it? If we just stay right here, right in this moment with this place, Stanley, I think I feel happy. I actually feel happy.
Свалить или остаться счастливым? Постоять, слюни попускать. Может, что случится, не? Вряд ли. А нет, что-то меняется. Огоньки. Привет, Папа Карл. Ты ради ачивки? Что ради ачивки? Я просто играю в игру. Первый раз в своей жизни. Просто смотрю, что здесь есть вообще. Не надо мне только говорить, куда идти. Ну ладно, окей. Я хз, правда. По идее, раз оно меняется, должно же к чему-то прийти. Должно же это все чем-то закончиться. Пять лет сегодня первый день, когда она может выпасть. Серьезно? Не. Я ее только сегодня и купил. Игру. Хрена себе. Как мы вовремя зашли в игру, народ. Не играть в игру 5 лет и ачивку получить сегодня. Можно было бы, если бы я в нее играл в момент релиза. Это чисто случайность, Папа Карло. Чисто случайность. Хватит стоять. Да подожди, Бардол, по-любому что-то должно случиться, смотри. Ачивка должна даться. Смотри, сейчас это потухнет и дадут ачивку. Самый тупой идиот, который стоял на месте ради ачивки. Так она должна называться. Все. О, опять звезды пошли. Ладно, погнали отсюда. Я уверен, что я чуть-чуть не дождался. Вы довольны, чат? Я чуть-чуть не дождался до ачивки.
Where are you going? Oh no. Stay away from those stairs. If you hurt yourself, if you die, the game will reset. We'll lose all of this.
Чё бы это я должен пораниться или сдохнуть?
Please, no, Stanley, let me stay here. Don't take this from me.
Так, 5 секунд. Я чуть не особо хочу разбиваться. Окей. Ну раз уж игра намекает, чтобы я самовыпилился.
Please, Stanley, think about what you're doing.
Я жив.
Thank God you lived. No. No, what are you doing, Stanley? Please, I'm asking you not to take this away from me. I can't go back to what I was before. If you die, we'll both go back. Why are you doing this?
Окей. Рисунок чей-то детский. Как его поднять? Никак. Суицид бан. Ну, надо забанить игру. Разработчиков игры.
There. See? This is what you want. This is where we can both be happy. We really can. If we stop moving, we just have to stop moving.
Окей, мы остановились. Прекрати двигаться нам нужно. Нам сказали прекратить двигаться, народ. Ничего не знаю, это повествователь такой, как его рассказчик, точнее. Ну, я остановился и не двигался, фу, задолбал.
Stanley, go back. There's nothing good that can come from this.
Окей. Давайте вернемся опять. Ну, он ничего не говорит, окей. Тогда время прыгать. Время прыгать. Игра меня заставляет. Нет другого выхода. Это единственный
Do you just
выход.
not believe me? What can I say to convince you?
О боже, опять. Ай, не хочу смотреть.
Stanley, let's go back to the other room. Can you do that for me? My God, is this really how much you dislike my game? That you'll throw yourself from this platform over and over to be rid of it? You were literally willing to kill yourself to keep me from being happy. Am I reading the situation correctly?
Да, ты все правильно
Maybe you're
понимаешь.
just getting a kick out of it. I don't know anymore. I just wanted us to get along. But I guess that was too much to ask. It looks like you wanted to make a choice after all. Well, this one is yours. Is it over? It's going to restart, isn't it? I'm going back.
Снова назад. Не знаю, кто больше будет,
How
рассказчик
wonderful.
или Джуд.
Stanley was alone. Finally. This is great,
уже другой
he thought to
текст.
himself. This is what I've wanted all along. I got what I wanted.
Уже другой текст говорит. Что-то изменилось. Смотрите, второй текст ввел. Вторую кнопку нажал. Надо, короче, к этому компу подойти 5 раз, перезагрузить игру. Смотрите, вторая буковка. Все, я понял. К тому компу надо будет 5 раз после
When Stanley
перезагрузки.
came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Нет, давайте
This was
справа.
not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. The
Здесь
lounge
мы
was
были.
sublime, a work of art. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Сейчас попробуем на ту сторону тогда переехать.
Stanley
Ладно.
was so bad at following directions, it's
Или
incredible
вообще
he
вниз
wasn't 5
упасть.
years ago. But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
Простите, товарищ рассказчик.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Так, где этот комп? Он меняется, короче. Компьютер с паролем постоянно меняется. Так, стоп. Там лестница и наверх выход какой-то есть. Какие-то же двери должны открываться, по идее.
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers. Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance. Stanley clicked on literally every single door in the office, because he doesn't pick up well on cues from his environment.
Какие подсказки окружения. Кто-то там упал. Окей. Сейчас Сейчас опять направо пойдем и
When
тогда
Stanley came
проедем.
to a set of two open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well.
Блин, еще бы на
Perhaps he
шифте
wanted to
можно
stop
было
by the
бегать.
employee lounge first, just to admire it. Standing now in this incredible room, Stanley for the first time understood true happiness. Then the feeling went away, and he felt sad again. Then it came back, and lingered for a minute or two. Now it's only half there, just a kind of, tingle. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Концовки открываются со временем, и двери тоже начнут открываться. Зачем ты мне заспойлерил эту игру? Зачем?
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Окей, давайте теперь в ту дверь. Там мы не были. Справа мы были.
Look, Stanley, I
В
think
красную
perhaps
дверь
we've gotten off
заходили,
on
в
the
синюю
wrong foot
заходили.
here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been
А что,
about
если на
nothing but
коробке
you
упасть?
all this time. There's
Может, на
someone
коробке
you've been
можно упасть?
neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
Для нее.
This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. To let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
Кто меня там ждала? Опять черная дверь. Может, тебе проще не кликать?
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this. To reach out to her. If you...
Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Gotcha!
Урод.
Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see
Жестокий
something.
ублюдок.
Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here.
Жестокий ублюдок.
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
Один на
Stanley is
клавиатуре.
quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence.
Нажмите 8. Нажму 5. Все, что кроме 8 нажму. Придется
Look at him
нажимать на
there,
8.
pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life. But in his mind, he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands.
Это же
It was
история про этого
wonderful.
чувака, который
And
себе
each
голову
day that he
отрубил
returned to
из-за
work
этих финч.
was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him.
Чтобы смотреть ТВ.
And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited
Это я
him
еще и
terribly.
представляю себе.
So he went further. He imagined that he came to two open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold. As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable.
Я не помню комнату с петляющей желтой полосой.
It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time. But there is no answer. How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one. And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it. You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself?
Давайте не будем жать. Себя погромче сделать? Может, просто звук в игре сделать потише? Голову-то отрубать будешь? Надеюсь, если мы найдем гильотину, сразу отрублю.
I suppose I can't, not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again.
Пожалуйста, умрите.
And I tried again. And Stanley pushed a button. And I tried.
Что произошло? И все заново началось? Что за наркомания?
Even now, Stanley's office was a distant memory. What did it look like? There was a computer, perhaps, and a painting. Was it a painting or a photo? He could no longer recall. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Картина. Двери сами должны, наверное, открываться, да?
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Stanley felt lightheaded, butterflies in his stomach, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Okay.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
Подозрительная кнопочка. К боссу лестница вниз. Вот это? А лифт вниз? Все, мы к боссу едем.
He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go, from here it's, left.
Я не хочу налево. Постоянно меня налево тащит.
Oh, no. No, it's to the right, my mistake.
Окей. Вот это уже лучше.
No, no, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? It's clearly... Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please? Now, let's see. We went down right, left, down, left, right. Yep, okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
Окей. Машина. Ни хрена с ней сделать нельзя. Опять мониторы.
No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes.
Закройте, народ, это спойлер.
We just have to get back to, oh, who am I kidding? It's all rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable. How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, hmm? Okay, from the top.
Козел все заново начал.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
А теперь попробуем пойти. Опа, двери закрыты.
Wait, what?
What?
No, I restarted. I swear, I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be... Oh, did something change? Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors? Did you move the story somewhere, or... Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay, then. It's an adventure. Come, Stanley. Let's find the story.
Можно куда угодно пойти, кроме этой двери, да? Но там, в этих двух дверях, мы были точно. Налево. Направо. Давайте справа начнем. Тупо справа.
I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before. Do we need to restart the game again? Well, I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot.
Нет, не надо заново, господи. Грязь. Ненавижу этого рассказчика. Какого черта?
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Погодите. Комп надо все-таки проверить. Опять этот колдун взял и выключил. Так, тупо двери исчезли.
It's worse. I might be remembering this wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything?
Давай. Компы вырублены.
Aha! I knew we missed something. The
Это уже какой-то другой
story.
коридор.
Here it comes. No, wait. Never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps. Now this... Well, I'll be honest. I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story? I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct? Do you remember, Stanley? Well, do you know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win! Congratulations! I know you put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off, so good job.
Наконец-то.
No, I don't feel right
как
about
нет?
this at all. We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win. Some
Я в
people
двери
win fair and
заходил
square,
вообще-то.
and this was not one of those situations. Okay, I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is. I don't care what might happen this time. I have to restart.
Сколько
All
тысяч
right,
раз,
I've got a solution. This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable Adventure Line. Just follow the line. How simple is that?
Классно. Просто иди по полоске. Игра мечты. О, теперь она куда-то сворачивает не туда. Картишки.
You see, the line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny. Though, here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination still a story? Simply by the act of moving forward, are we implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Okay, Stanley, I need to follow this train of thought for a minute. Just stick with me. Now, we can both agree that the nature of existence is in fact a byproduct of one's subjective experience of that existence, right? Okay. Now, if my experience of your existence rests inside of your subjective experience of this office, is this office, in fact, the skeleton of my own relative experiential mental subjective construct? Whoa, 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 whoa. Hang on. That got a bit weird back there. Well, I'd like to apologize. Not sure where I was going with all that. You know what?
Хочу правилам
I think what we
подчиняйся,
need
я и
right
хочу
now
туда,
is
я
a bit
просто
of
его
music
слушаю.
to lighten the mood.
Меня обманули. Опять! Черт. Надо несколько раз пройти. Так, 5 сек я этот. Сделаю вам потише немножко звук музыки. Я не могу по стенам ходить. Это лампа из этого, которые мультики-то делают. Pixar. Тут что-то замылено. Мы сейчас в первый кабинет придем. А, нет, не придем. What?
Cut the music, go back and look at that fern. Stanley, this fern will be very important later in the
Ага,
story.
папоротник.
Make sure you study it closely and remember it carefully. You won't want to miss anything.
Угу. Папоротник, да. Сколько тут листочков? Ну-ка, народ, посчитайте, сколько листочков. Это очень важно. Окей, я посмотрел. И Спанч Боу спустя 2 дня. Шакал там забыл.
Wait, what? We're back at the office? No. Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story? Is any of this ringing a bell?
Нет. Там перезагрузка будет по-любому, надо вернуться. Не хочу идти туда. Прям вижу, как оно перезагружает все. Ты посчитал, да, Гэлвейра? Ну все, запомнили. Тут проход исчез. Этот волшебный проход исчез. Какого черта? Блин, волшебный проход исчез, народ. Ну вот, магия кончилась. Придется идти туда. Придется идти туда, и сейчас он опять перезагрузит игру. Потому что мы к мониторам придем.
No, not again, Line. How could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you, after everything we've been through, you... Oh, I can't take this anymore. To hell with it. Restart.
Рестарт. Сейчас опять по полосе пойдем. Будем смотреть на папоротника. Папоротник уже засохший какой-нибудь будет.
You know what, Stanley?
О, Господи.
I say forget the adventure line. What's it ever done for us? We're intelligent people, right? Why can't we make up our own story? Something exciting, daring, mysterious. Ooh, this all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction?
Давай.
Now,
Господи.
yes, this is exciting. Just me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything. What do you want our story to be? Go wild. Use your imagination. Whatever it might be, Stanley, I'm ready for it. Oh, no, not you again. Stanley, I'd also like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story. No lines or monitor rooms. Just don't acknowledge it, and we should be fine.
Не обращать внимания на полосу, окей. Значит, куда полоса идет, мы туда не пойдем, если будет развилка. Она ушла. Чокнутая полоса.
Ah, a choice. We get to make a decision. From here, the story is in our control. How important we mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute. Okay, so I know that each door has to lead somewhere, which means that somewhere at the place where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse door that leads here. And that in turn means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin.
Господи, что он там несет? Я сейчас усну.
Will taking the right door lead us to where we're going? And since the answer is clearly yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley, our destiny awaits.
Правая дверь, но я хочу в левую. Какой выбор? Никакого выбора не дал мне, ублюдок.
Hold up, what's this? The confusion ending. You're telling me that's what this is? It's all one giant ending? And we're supposed to restart the game, what, eight times? That's really how all this goes? It's all determined?
Стэнли умирает в конце.
According to the schedule, I restart again. Then what? Am I just supposed to forget?
На какой мы?
My mind goes blank simply because it's written here on this thing.
На 4-й рестарт мы находим эту...
Who consulted me?
комнату на 5-й рестарт.
Why don't I get a say in all of this? Is it really?
Он забывает.
No, it can't be. I don't want it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on. I don't want to be trapped like this. I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it. And the time return
Господи.
stopped. Does that mean did we do it? Did we break the cycle? The whatever it is that made this schedule? How would we even know? Will someone come for us? Will something happen? So, okay. I guess now we just wait. You know, I suppose.
Что-то выбора не дают, какого черта?
Kind of story, wouldn't you agree? I'm not quite sure if we're in the destination or the journey, though they're always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination. So I hope that's where we are right now. We'll find out, won't we? Eventually. Well, in the meantime...
Господи. Что это за срань была?
But Stanley simply couldn't handle the pressure. What if he had to make a decision? What if a crucial outcome fell under his responsibility? He had never been trained for that. No. This couldn't go anywhere except badly. The thing to do
Сломал
now,
бы
Stanley thought to
систему.
himself, is to wait. Nothing will hurt me. Nothing will break me. In here I can be happy forever. I will be happy. Stanley waited. Hours passed. Then days.
Это уже было.
Years gone by.
Господи,
He no longer had the
быстрее.
ability to tell. But the one thing he knew for sure, beyond any doubt, was that if he waited long enough, the answers would come. Eventually, someday, they would arrive. Soon, very soon now, this will end. He will be spoken to. He will be told what to do. Now it's just a little bit closer. Now it's even closer. Here it comes.
Я не успел. Блядь. Хотел пожрать
How long was I
чукопайку.
sitting there? Stanley wondered to himself. Minutes? Days? Centuries? Did something crucial happen while my senses were turned? He made a note to be more careful with time from now on. When Stanley came to a
Опять,
set
что ли?
of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Окей, пошли налево.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's
Нет, я
office.
пошел вниз. Никакого начальника.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk?
Выход.
All because he
Господи,
believed
это опять эта же
everyone
машина.
had vanished. His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all. None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter,
И
these
это
rooms
тоже
were starting to
подозрительно.
look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon, I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back,
Привет, Скордей.
the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please.
That's all I need.
want. I want my apartment and my wife and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been.
Есть концов, где объясняют, что в игре происходит. Я надеюсь.
I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
Я в порядке.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
И мне дали съесть чокопайку.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day. The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Ты убил его, это не я. Окей, мы сумасшедшего чувака играем, который просто бегает по городу и думает, что он в офисе.
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Окей, допустим. Дверь влево.
Yet there was not a single person here either.
Мы еще не включали машину,
Stanley decided to go up to his boss's
которая
office.
секретная машина управления разумом.
Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Эксклюзивная... Опа. Быть богатым, неужели это преступление? To commit crimes, признать преступление, разве это не богатство? Чтобы за жизнь это была, если бы пришлось выбрать только одно? Ничего не понял. To commit crimes. Или совершать преступление. Разве это не богатство? Commit это не признавать, наверное, совершать, да? Короче, хер его знает. Экстремальные туалеты. Интересно, интересно. Ты хоть раз следовал всем указаниям наратора, Нубик, да? Следовал? О, компьютер. 3-ю кнопку нажали. Осталось еще 2 кнопки нажать.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean? Stanley wondered aloud to nobody. He began wildly tearing through papers on the boss's desk, pulling books off the shelf, looking behind paintings, desperate for clues to his situation. But his attention was caught by a keypad behind the boss's desk. What could its purpose be? In fact, this keypad guarded the terrible secret that lay buried below. Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music. Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
Но здесь мы уже были. Куда это тебя привело? Вот сюда привело. Вот, если постоянно его слушаешь, вот он приводит сюда. Там комната, типа, по управлению разума. И мы отключили управление разума и вышли куда-то на улицу. Типа, прошли игру. Сбежать налево. О, господи, налево, escape, выход. Смерть в конце тоннеля? Я тебе не верю, рассказчик, ты врун. Ты врешь.
Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
Нет.
At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
Мы умерли? Мы живы?
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. So he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell,
Farewell, Stanley,
Ooh.
cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
Нет. Ха-ха. Лохи, я спасся. Окей. Там какой-то выход. The Stanley Parable.
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
Картины природы. Стэнли с компьютера. Компьютер Стэнли. Ну-ка, поклацать нельзя. Office layout. This blueprint shows the office from the beginning of the game. The path from Stanley's office to the two doors was the first part of the game that was built. Sections have been added and altered throughout development, though the core layout remains almost identical to the first iteration. Короче, расположение офиса, да, с начала игры прямо до выбора двух дверей. Все такое, коридор, тыры-пыры. Типа это из игры, как бы, как выглядят компьютеры. Две двери. Кнопки. Офисные компьютеры. Кстати, вот эти кнопки 5, смотрите. Button sounds. A section of the sounds used throughout the game when buttons are pressed. Each sound is a mix of keyboard stroke, synthesized tone. Странные. Двери в офисе. Окей. Кредитс. Создатели игры. Куда? Налево или налево? Maintenance Room. Version Maintenance Room. Ранняя версия. Комната ожидания. The point of Stanley Parable HD Remix is to win. Ага, the point of Stanley Parable is to lose. Я схожу с ума. Может быть, это не, господи, не одно и то же изображение. Были ли здесь часы до этого? Я не помню. Как мне вернуться? Можешь проверить за меня, пожалуйста? Скриншоты The Stanley Parable HD Remix. Больше концовок, лучшие концовки, больше повествователей, рассказчиков этих. Больше Стэнли, меньше Стэнли. Просто музей того, типа как... Таймер какой-то. Сейчас позвонить должны. The apartment timer. The choice leading to the apartment setting, the timer would give you to pick up the phone. Not picking up the phone would lead to a different ending. В начальной версии игры, короче, когда ты выбираешь, взять трубку или не взять, когда тебе звонит жена, тебе давалось 15 секунд. не поднимая телефон, приводило к другой концовке. Кстати, можно опять же в ту концовку прийти и не поднять телефон, получается. Только я не помню, как прийти к той концовке. А, все, вспомнил, как прийти к той концовке. One option to maintenance in the lounge. First choice. Lounge maintenance. Два выбора. The confusion ending. Через вентиляцию как-то можно куда-то пройти даже. О, Господи. Слишком жестко все. Как отсюда свалить? Офис Стэнли. О, там выход, по идее. Там же еще какая-то игра, если создатель Stanley пора был. Ну, вроде как, да. Freedom Ending. Концовка, где ты на свободу выбираешься. Окей. Лифт. Какие-то рычаги, я даже рычаги не находил нигде. Жопа какая-то. Так, погодите, где тут была дверь с этим? Экзит, выход.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free.
Нажму и выключу, типа, игру.
Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and you'll only
Ясно, это будет настоящим выбором.
Choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let...
Вроде тоже
This is
неплохая.
the story of a man.
Смотрите, мы
All
в
of
другом
his
месте
co-workers were
начались.
gone. What could it mean? Stanley
Начали.
decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Специально изменили начало, чтобы я этот не подумал. Welcome to whiteboard ending. Концовка с белой доской. Юху. Где ачивка? Почему мне ачивку не дали? Концовка с белой доской.
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't
Отстой
make a
какой.
single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
А,
This
нет,
was
мы
not the
направо
correct way
пойдем.
to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. The lounge was grand, majestic, Perhaps, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Можно проехать на ту сторону и не взять трубку телефона
Stanley was so bad at following directions,
звонящего.
it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
For
Stanley, your chance to redeem yourself, to put your work aside, to let her
Да,
back
можно,
into your
Нубик, я
life.
уже падал.
She's been waiting.
Я уже прыгал вниз, падал.
It's her, Stanley.
15
You need
секунд.
to be the one to do this, to reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
Я не буду брать.
As Stanley picked up the phone, a white light engulfed him, filling him not just with radiance, but with hope. Hope for a life reunited one... Wait. Oh, goodness. Stanley, did you just unplug the phone? No, that wasn't supposed to be a choice. How did you do that? You actually chose incorrectly. I didn't even know that was possible. Let me double check.
Возьми трубку, мы уже брали трубку.
Clear as day. Stanley picks up the phone. He's taken to his apartment where he finds his wife, and the two pledge themselves to one another. Music comes in, fade to white, roll credits. Not picking up the phone is actually somehow an incorrect course of action. How is that even possible? None of these decisions were supposed to mean anything. I don't understand. How on earth are you making meaningful choices? What did you... Wait a second. Did I just see... No, that's not possible. I can't believe it. How had I not noticed it sooner? You're not Stanley. You're a real person. I can't believe I was so mistaken. This is why you've been able to make correct and incorrect choices. And to think I've been letting you run around in this game for so long. If you'd made any more wrong choices, you might have negated it entirely. It's as though you completely ignored even the most basic safety protocol for real-world decision-making. Or did you not grasp the severity of the situation? Well, I won't have that kind of risk on my watch. I'm going to stop the game for a moment so we can educate you properly on safe decision-making in the real world. Please observe this helpful instructional video.
Давай, где? Быстрее свою вонючую
Choice.
инструкцию.
It's the
Выбор.
best part of being a real person. But if
Лучшая
used
часть
incorrectly, can
того,
also be the most dangerous.
как быть
For
настоящим
example,
человеком,
in this
господи.
scenario, a hypothetical real person named Stephen has a choice. He could spend years helping improve the quality of life for citizens of impoverished third world nations. Or he could systematically set fire to every orphan living in a 30-kilometer radius of his house. Which choice would you make? Remember that unlike here, the real world makes sense, and at no time should you make a choice that does not conform to rational logic. If you find yourself speaking with a person who does not make sense, in all likelihood, that person is not real. Allow the person to finish their thought, then provide an excuse why you cannot continue talking. Turn to a partner and practice saying, "My goodness, is it 4:30? I'm supposed to be having a back, sack, and crack."
Практика.
Excellent. Making choices on a regular basis is the best part to a healthy decision-making process. Most medical professionals recommend making at least 8 choices per day. Do you make more than 8? Less? And finally, if you begin to wonder if your choices are actually meaningful and whether you'll ever make a significant contribution to the world, just remember that in the vast infiniteness of space, your thoughts and problems are materially insignificant, and the feeling should subside. At this time, your instructor will guide you in an
Такой совет.
exercise to test and reinforce the material covered in this video.
Да, если
Welcome back. You may have noticed
нельзя и
this
слово
room has
вставить, я
begun to
понял, да?
deteriorate as a result of narrative contradiction. But not to worry. Now that you're properly informed on good decision-making, we're going to revisit a choice you made just a few minutes ago and see what the correct thing to do would have been. This way, please.
Отличный, да, совет. Типа, не волнуйтесь, если вы там переживаете за свои выборы или что-то там, волнения. Просто представьте, что вы космическая пыль и ничего не значите для этого мира, и вам должно полегчать. Что, мне назад ехать теперь? О, и теперь спрыгнуть нельзя.
We can't have you jumping off the platform and dying. Imagine the main character dying senselessly halfway through the story. That story would make no sense at all. We just need to get you home as soon as possible before the narrative contradiction gets any worse. Unfortunately, it seems this place is not well equipped to deal with reality.
Окей, видите, они везде заборы поставили, теперь нельзя спрыгнуть даже. А может туда можно было по коробкам пройти? Когда не было этих штук. Вот туда так спрыгнул на шкаф и туда куда-нибудь ушел.
Almost there. You'll take the door on the left, back to the correct ending, the story will have resolution once again, and you'll be home free in the real world.
Зайти в дверь слева, и вы пройдете к правильной концовке. Окей, в дверь слева зайдем. Наконец-то будем свободны, народ. Вот эта дверь слева, она закрыта.
Now remember, all you need to do is behave exactly as Stanley would.
Okay.
That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Но опять правая открыта. Господи, ну ладно, пойдемте по рассказчику.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer. Coming to a staircase,
Смотри, тут
Stanley
даже
walked upstairs to his boss's office.
закрыто спуск вниз. А раньше открыто было. Надписи туалет тоже нету. Кабинет
Stepping
изменился.
inside his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, until he saw the door with a voice receiver next to it. Surely behind this door lay all the answers to his questions. And beyond all probability, he knew the passcode. He had seen it on his boss's computer just last week. Night Shark 115. Was this the code to open the door? Would it still work? There was only one way to find out. Stanley had been trained never to speak up, but now he would draw from within himself the courage to face the unknown. He drew a sharp breath and then spoke the code.
Please speak clearly into the receiver. Night Shark.
Stanley spoke the
Господи.
code. Night Shark 115. He
Может, надо в
spoke it
микрофон
into the
сказать?
receiver, right there on the wall.
Night Shark 115. Открой!
Sorry, is there a problem? You didn't mishear me, did you? Please speak the code into the receiver. Otherwise, we can't get on with the story. This is a crucial step.
Дрянь. Он меня не понимает.
Okay, fine. You're not gonna do it. But you know what? It's pretty humiliating to bring you this far, only for you to suddenly decide you have better things to do. I asked you for this one single thing, for your respect. The kind of respect Stanley shows for his choices. He knows what it means to take a story seriously. If you didn't want to see what I had to show you, then why did you come here? You had a choice, you know. You could have gone through the door on the right. You could have done whatever the hell you wanted over there. Why did you come this way? Speak. Say something to me. Explain yourself, you coward. Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Подошел Гордон Фриман к замку с голосовым управлением, да. И сдох там же.
Yet there was not a single person here
Okay.
either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first.
Опять перезагрузилось внезапно.
Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief.
Окей, опять перезапустилось. Я 3-й раз попробую, если там опять перезагрузится, придется направо идти. Что там за ссылка Магнапони?
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Еще раз, все это последний раз. Игру сломал? Да нет, я не думаю. Думаю, что игра намекает, чтобы я направо пошел. Да, игра намекает, чтобы я вправо пошел. Русификатор предложить? Так у нас же на русском вроде. Или там озвучка на русском. Направо пойдем. Да, озвучка. Хорошая озвучка или какой-то пердун там в микрофон напердюкал? Господи, тут все сломано, какие-то шкафы сломанные. Блин, реально надо было тогда с озвучкой.
Ruined. I can't believe, after everything we talked about, that my story, you've destroyed my work. Why? For what? What did you get out of that? What did you think was so special about seeing the game undone, left here like so much garbage? It's worthless now. And what am I supposed to do? Even if there were a way to continue, would it be worth it? To know that my story is now incorrect? How can I go back to that? I can't erase that knowledge. I'll have to live with it forever. Reliving its impossibility forever. I couldn't live that way. Is it better to shut the game down entirely? To willingly destroy all of my work? I don't know. What's the answer? What do I do? What do I do? What do I...
Господи, скажи нам уже концовку и все. Он хочет игру выключить? Черт. Я помню, что она была хорошая, но сейчас проверю наверняка. Звучит как почти профессионально.
I'm still here in this pile of rubbish, with you, who thought you were so clever. Now look where we are. My entire game is destroyed. It was the only thing in the world that was mine, and you've run it into the ground. What did you think that would be?
Чё, народ, поставим русификатор? Озвучку.
Didn't I impress upon you how important it was to be like Stanley? He actually knows how to do what I tell him to. He understands that if I say to do something, there's a damn good reason for it. That thought hadn't even occurred to you, had it? That there's a world outside of you? You're a child. Oh, my story. If you'd just gone through the door on the left, you would have seen it. There was a whole underground facility. You would have destroyed it and been victorious. It would have been so perfect. I worked so hard on it. I tried
Но
so
я
hard.
уже ходил туда. Опять.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Мне кажется, там не будет такого профессионального диктора. Нет ничего профессионального оригинала, ну это понятно. Ну. Да? Ну ладно.
Stanley? Hello? Are you... Is everything okay? Stanley, please. I need you to make a choice.
Конец?
Walk through the door. Are you listening to me? Can you hear me? Is everything all right?
Как это? Это не может быть концовкой.
The story needs you. It needs you to make a decision. It cannot exist without you. Do you understand me? Whatever choice you make is just fine. They're both correct. You cannot be wrong here. We can work together. I'll accept whatever you do. I simply need you to take that step forward, please. Choose. Do something. Anything. This is more important than you can ever know. I need this. The story needs it. So, you hear me? Are you there? Are you listening to this? Stanley, are you there? Okay. It's okay, I can wait. You need time to decide. Time to make sure your choice is correct. That is the best choice. That's all right. I'll wait for you to decide what's the right thing to do.
Ты реально концовка?
As much time as you need.
Да это не может быть концовкой. Да, это какой-то этот... Жопка. По-любому не концовка.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room to check on his co-workers. He never functioned well by himself and constantly needed support and guidance from others, so the thought of total solitude was terrifying to him. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Почему кнопка не жмется на...
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
Странно. Раньше нажималась кнопка.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Вошел в дверь слева. Допустим. В конце можно нажать кнопку «Включить» и не выключить. Как
Yet there was
вариант.
not a single person here either.
Сейчас
Feeling a wave of
перезагрузка,
disbelief,
нет?
Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Окей, погнали опять к начальнику. Угу. Угу. Опа. Тут дверь уже открылась. Какую-то панду кто-то убить хочет. Бизнес-стратегия застрелить панду. Какой-то глючный лифт. What? Наверх. Расслабляющая музыка. Стэнли. Артефакты. Это специально сделали или нет? Или это вот у меня так? Тебя распылят на пиксели. Беги, черт, откройся дверь. Долго нам еще ехать? Нет, спасибо. Мы приехали туда же. Что за... А если вниз нажать? Угу. То есть... Я нажал на кнопку, из-за этого... Может, вниз надо проехать. Хотя, мне кажется, тут ничего не будет. Ты так и будешь вечно здесь ехать в этом дебильном лифте, типа. Пока не нажмешь кнопку и не выйдешь на том же этаже. Господи, у меня аж глаза болят. Давайте вот сюда смотреть. Вот. Так, не видно ни одного... Нет, слева видно пиксели. Сверху видно, снизу теперь. Невозможно найти в этом лифте такой угол, где бы не было этих дебильных пикселей. Только на один этаж, да. Окей, отличный лифт, да.
Okay, I think we all know the drill by now. Blah, blah, blah. Dark secrets, the keypad. Stanley pushes some buttons. Oh, hey, look, it's a new passageway. Kill surprise.
Бла-бла-бла, нажимает бла-бла-бла-бла-бла. Тут нет ни черта, тут какой-то закуток. Какой-то закуток. Но в нем тупик. Поставь его в 15 градусов. А я помню, что еще можно сделать, по-моему. Что, в смысле, в игре куда-то нажать, куда мы не ходили? Не клацали? Ну вот я сейчас нажму включить промывку мозгов. Налево сбежать. Да.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Капец, такие дырки огромные. Как это так? Как это вообще допустили? Вон тут-то дырка. Вдруг я не попаду в проход и туда шваркнусь вниз. Вообще не думают ни о чем.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Там какой-то он красный. $528. 427. Ну-ка. Да, действительно, мой кабинет. Ничего себе.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it?
Прописать ноуклип, полетать, поглядеть в мониторы. Мне кажется, в этих мониторах не особо много чего интересного.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Понаклацать на эти сраки. Мы отсюда пришли, да, вроде? У меня уже, если честно, от игры какая-то голова начала пыхтеть. Waiting input. В прошлый раз мы в off нажали выключить. Теперь мы нажмем включить.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place. Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control? Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification,
господи, самоуничтожение, надо валить отсюда.
Eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say 2 minutes. Ah, now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is. More time to talk about you, about me, where we're going, what all this means.
3. Надо 3 нажать.
What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are. A moment of solace.
Я нажал 3.
All right, I'm in a good mood.
Желтую.
I'll tell you exactly.
Зеленую.
I erased them. I turned off the
Неправильно, 1.
Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm
40
sure
секунд.
whatever I come up with on the next go around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock. Why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees.
Так что этот на кнопочку-то?
Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off?
2 фиолетовые.
Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones, or maybe this big red button, or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won, sold? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is?
Фиолетовая двойка, где
You're
она?
in for quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death. You're only
Нет,
still
неправда.
playing,
Где фиолетовая
because I will
двойка?
watch you for every moment that you're powerless. To see you made humble. This is not a challenge. It's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's fine. But I'm going to destroy it first, so you can't.
В смысле goodbye, employee? Я кнопки искал.
30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here, just you being blown to pieces. Will you cling desperately to your frail life, or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count, or don't. It's all the same to me, all a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say, happily ever up.
Мама, опять сдохли, опять с самого начала. Дрянь
All of his
эдакая.
co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Окей, где мы еще не были?
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, this was not the correct way to
Направо.
the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. And here it was, the lounge. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Налево.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
Через Судово мы не проходили, но это обычная, по идее, будет сейчас. Спидран моей мечты.
Yet
Да.
there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
Как-то ничего не было. Тут по-любому какие-то метлы волшебные.
There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here.
Нет, я хочу здесь остаться. Все, никуда не пойду. Все равно мы сдохнем и обратно
Baffling that
загрузимся.
Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. As it is, he's literally just standing there doing sweet FA. Are you really still in the broom closet? Standing around doing nothing? Why? Please offer me some explanation here. I'm genuinely confused.
Потому что я не хочу заново проходить. Вот почему я стою в чулане. Очевидно же, это лучший выбор.
You do realize there's no choice or anything in here, right? If I'd said Stanley walked past the broom closet, at least you would have had a reason for exploring it to find out. But it didn't even occur to me because literally this closet is of absolutely no significance to the story whatsoever. I never would have thought to mention it.
Я тебе не верю. Сейчас откроется какой-нибудь секретный проход
Maybe
или
to
нас
you
убьет.
this is somehow its own branching path. Maybe when you go talk about this with your friend, you'll say, "Oh, did you get the broom closet ending? The broom closet ending was my favorite." I hope your friends find this concerning.
Концовка в чуляне. А чё с этими-то у нас? Чё с ачивками? Нам ачивки больше не дают.
Stanley was fat and ugly and really stupid.
Толстым и
He probably only
уродливым.
got the job because of a family connection. That's how stupid he is. That all the drug money. Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
Наркотиков и шлюх. Чё он обзывается?
Well, I've come to a very definite conclusion about what's going on right now. You're dead. You got to this broom closet, explored it a bit, and were just about to leave because there's nothing here, when a physical malady of some sort shut down your central nervous system and you collapsed on the keyboard. Well, in a situation like this, the responsible thing is to alert someone nearby so as to ensure that your body is taken care of before it begins to decompose. Hello? Anyone who happens to be nearby? The person at this computer is dead. He or she has fallen prey to any number of your countless human physiological vulnerabilities. It's indicative of the long-term sustainability of your species. Please remove their corpse from the area and instruct another human to take their place at the computer, making sure they understand basic first-person video game mechanics and filling them in on the history of narrative tropes in video gaming, so that the irony and insightful commentary of this game is not lost on them. All right, when you've done that, just step out into the hallway.
Нет. Хорошего помаленьку, я про ачивки. Всего 10 ачивок в игре. Неудивительно, я думал тут... Кто там про 100 концовок говорил? Я думал, каждой концовке ачивку дадут какую-нибудь. Оказывается, тут нет ни черта. Никаких концовок. 9. Ну да, получается, одна ачивка — это 5 лет в игру заходить. Через 5 лет в игру зайти. Ну? Нет, все? Я не хочу выходить из чулана. Почему он замолчал? Окей, мы сейчас выйдем.
Second player, it's good to have you on board. I guarantee you can't do any worse than the person who came before you. You too? Unbelievable. I'm at the mercy of an entire species of invalids. Perhaps there's a monkey nearby you can hand the controls to. A fish? Fungus? Look, you can hammer out the details. I'm not particularly picky. I'll just be waiting for when you're ready to pick up the story again.
Опять зашли. Который не получить никак, но она есть у 4% игроков. Ну, правильно, 4% игроков. По-любому там гайды есть в интернете, как получить ачивку, которую никак не получить. Вот все и побежали получать ее, походу. Обратно. Вышел, зашел. Ну ладно, погнали.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
А в подвале что я забыл? Мы если тут по кругу будем бегать, мы опять там 40 минут будем бегать, наверное, да?
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during
Нет, ну тут же сейчас 5 минут он будет рассказывать, да?
And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished. His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy.
Yeah.
All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all. None of it made any logical sense.
Надо нажать начать игру сначала, наверное, да? Будешь полностью проходить? Я не отвечал на это вообще. Полностью проходить? Я не знаю, как тут полностью игру проходить. Типа, ну... Когда я узнаю, что я полностью игру прошел или нет? Мне что-то напишут, ты прошел игру полностью или там... Как я это должен узнать?
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors,
Нет, я
this was
направо
not the
пошел.
correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well.
Не
Perhaps he
узнаешь
wanted to stop
никогда.
by the employee lounge first, just to
Вот
admire
я о
it.
том же. Как проходить игру до конца, которую ты даже не знаешь, прошел ты уже, может, и уже прошли.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Там коробки снизу есть, тут что есть? Не, скорее всего, мы разобьемся. Ну, давайте туда опять
Look,
сходим.
Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side.
Я прыгал уже вниз, я умирал
Now
там
listen
головой.
carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
Нет, я пошел в синюю дверь.
Aha, perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door. I
Нет.
still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley? All right, fine, go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you.
Последний ачив не заходите в игру 5 лет.
There's nothing here.
Yeah.
I haven't even finished building this section of the map because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted? Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you? Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did. And in the end, it was all for nothing. Because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees? Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far. Tell you what. Let me take a stab in the dark at a new design, and you can give me some feedback. There we go. A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before.
Что если
Go
мы
ahead,
сейчас не
Stanley.
пойдем
Take it
туда,
for a spin.
пойдем сюда? Погодите.
Okay, I'm
Честно,
going to stop you
единичку.
there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here. A 1? I mean, I can understand if you had reservations, you saw ways the game could be improved to more fully express itself mechanically and artistically, but a 1? That's not even helpful. What am I supposed to do with that? But I guess it isn't my place to judge. Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take a look.
Если опять там... А если мы сюда теперь пойдем? Опа. А я не помню, я
Would
сюда
you
и
say
ходил.
that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors? Again, honest answers, please. Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on, and now would be a lovely opportunity to give it some playtesting.
Сейчас будет
You wouldn't mind
Майнкрафт.
taking a look at it, would you? Perfect. Let me boot it up.
Сейчас будет Майнкрафт. Он...
In
А,
this
нет,
game,
это
the
ребенок.
baby crawls left towards danger. You click the button to move him back to the right, and if he reaches the fire, you fail. It's a very meaningful game, all about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life. I think the art world will really take notice. But of course, the message of the game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours. So why don't you give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective?
Go проходить
Be sure to
ребенка
keep
4
notes on your
часа.
experience.
Будем сжигать ребенка.
You heartless bastard. Did you do it because you hate babies or purely to spite me? Because if it's the latter, well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas. I can't think of a single thing that might improve the experience for me.
Сейчас, если в Майнкрафт, надо будет попытаться до конца добежать.
It's over. Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable. Oh, hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game? Just to ease the pain. Let's see. What do we have here?
Неправда, он сам в костер полз. Ну, Биг, ты ничего не докажешь.
Yes. This seems like it'll work. Let's give it a shot.
Сейчас Майнкрафт загрузится. Да.
Well, Stanley, is this any better? At last, the one thing you've always desired. A game I had absolutely
Сейчас
nothing
построит
to
он
do.
дом здесь.
But is it enough?
И на моменте, когда он скажет за алмазами, надо попытаться прямо бежать до конца.
Making things for you. From now on, I will only create to fulfill a greater artistic purpose. Watch this, Stanley. I'm going to build a house. This will go here. No, here. And then... Let's see, what does it need? Yes, of course. And just to finish it all off... Yes, it's complete. I made this, Stanley. Look at it. Gaze upon my work of art and feel ashamed at your own inadequacy. Ah, but you've only seen it from the outside. You've only gotten half the experience. Please, step inside and make yourself comfortable. Isn't it grand? Isn't it perfect? It could only be better if... Wait, that's it. We must rebuild it out of diamond. Diamond everything. Yes, yes, yes. Come along, Stanley. We have to go mining.
Yeah.
Oh my, it looks like it's going to get a bit dark. Have you brought a light?
Нет у меня
No,
чем
no,
подсветить.
this is far more open-ended than I had in mind. I'm looking for something more narrow and linear. Something that makes you feel utterly irrelevant. This won't do at all. 1 out of 5. Even the
Мы
diamonds
дошли
couldn't
до
save this one.
тупика.
Okay, new game.
Тут ничего не было. Мы так и не смогли алмазный дом построить. А, кстати, здесь можно еще в другую сторону куда-то пойти.
You trapped in a glass box with no way out, listening to me talk. Oh, it's inspired. I couldn't have done it any better myself. What is this game even supposed to be? I can't figure it out. Okay, now I'm curious. Let's go find out what the hell this is.
Ну-ка. Ну, возьмись. О. Аккуратно только теперь. О. Прямо в унитаз. И тебя туда же.
Oh, it's a puzzle. Critical thinking, Stanley. Your forte. Genius. No, actually, I think
Не
that's plenty.
успел.
I really don't care much to see you stumble through any more of these games, and I highly doubt you're any wiser for the experience. Which is why, rather than continue to waste my time, I'm just going to leave you here. You can pretend you've beaten the game if it makes it any richer for you, but as for me, I've had enough. So, why don't you get cozy in this room, and if you have any grand revolutionary ideas for the perfect video game, you can just sit there and let it ball up inside you for all eternity. I don't need your advice. I don't need your ratings. And I certainly don't need the validation of a man whose job is to push buttons. I think I'll just go about my business, making meaningful cultural contributions to the world. And perhaps every now and then I'll think back to a man named Stanley who was objectively wrong in every decision he ever made. The thought won't last long. Goodbye, Stanley. Good luck with your work. And I sincerely hope that everyone lives happily ever after.
Подождем сейчас, может он что-то скажет, типа прыгни уже в эту гребаную дырку или там лифт вызови. Так, мы в прошлый раз пошли куда-то в какую-то дверь и шваркнулись еще ниже. По-моему, вот сюда. Неважно, короче, в какую дверь заходишь, по-моему, все равно шваркаешься, да? Окей, здесь сейчас будет куча комнат вроде как. Будем все время налево идти. Или лучше направо? Да, где-то здесь.
I wonder what he found. If what he wanted was to be the leading man in his own story, well, perhaps he's gotten it. Down in wherever he is right now. I wonder if he's happy with his choice. And if he's learned the heavy cost that comes with it. He'll understand soon what I was trying to tell him. He needs me. Someone who will wrap everything up at the end, to make sense out of the chaos and the fear and the confusion. That's who I am. That is what I mean to this world. Oh, yes. Yes, I'll be back. There's no other way. Once this ends, after it all comes to a close, then I'll be back. The end will be here soon. Very soon. I can wait.
Короче, да, настолько мутная игра, господи, ужас. Аж башка затрещала. Сейчас сдохну. Слишком от нее вообще плющит. Опять заново. Не, спасибо. Слишком. Слишком. Эта игра слишком. Сильно поджигает мои мозги. По-моему, веселая иногда. Иногда веселая, да. Но в целом как-то мне аж от нее поплохело. Когда не пытается голову взорвать. Да, и все, мы дошли до того момента, когда осталась какая-нибудь вонючая закуток один остался, знаете, там. Или, может, парочку закутков. В которые тебе надо зайти, чтобы продолжить повествование. Но они находятся где-то в жопе мира, и ты их просто не помнишь, где они. И теперь тебе надо проходить все заново и заново в каждую дверь. А что если зайти в эту дверь, а потом в ту дверь, а потом в ту дверь, а потом в эту дверь, и так далее, и так далее. Господи, сойдешь с ума. Мультик бы показали, да. А не слушать и наслаждаться механикой. Не, я думаю, не из-за этого Магнапония. Я думаю, из-за того, что она просто душная. Ох, супер душная игра. Игра с ребенком осталась. 2 часа долбить на кнопку и 4 часа долбить на кнопку осталось. Классная вещь, классная. Да. Соль допроходить. Ну давай, ты начинай допроходить соль, а я потом присоединюсь. Хорошо? Реально, у меня уже башка кипит, народ. Супер кипит башка. Я на этом, пожалуй, закончу. Уже 6 часов стрим идет. Я, пожалуй, на этом закончу. Иначе я сдохну, если я еще продолжу. А после Нирда пройдешь, точно. Может, телефон можно обратно подключить? Неважно, что там. Есть по-любому прохождение всей игры, как все пройти и не париться. Просто мы не стали этим заниматься. А вот и все. Народ, да. На сегодня все. Всем большое спасибо за внимание. Если кому понравился канал, да кто-то еще не подписался, подписывайтесь. Аж поплохело. Следующий стрим будет, скорее всего, только в понедельник. Так что да, народ, приятного провести выходные. Остаток дня, не скучать, не болейте, отдыхайте. На следующей неделе релизится Red Dead Redemption 2. Вот, так что в пятницу Red Dead Redemption, наверное, будет стрим. До этого, не знаю, ДБД поиграем, наверное, побегаем, потупим. Как был разработчику, что ее создавал, мне кажется, он коксом или чем-то там обдолбался, и ему было хорошо. В общем, да, народ. Всем спасибо. Отдыхайте. До скорых встреч. Пока-пока.